Okay, Lee at the Atlanta Cafe, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut high index lenses with Crizal Sapphire for your RayBan 5184 color. What color is that? 5405. I can't see it when it's over my head. And the 52 eye size. So let's take everything out of the original packaging that RayBan sends to me. Your RayBan case, your RayBan cleaning cloth, all folded up in half. You think they could have unfolded that for the trip. And of course a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping, of which I will include on yours when I ship to you. Did I mention free shipping anywhere in the US? But this is your color code. Again, this is the RayBan 5184, color 5405 in the 52 eye size. It is the matte black with the textured camouflage on the inside. So I'm going to take out your demo lenses, one of which it says RayBan. I'm going to pop those out and I'm going to put it into this tracing element of my edger. Where's my stylus? Where is my stylus? There it is. Of course, why do I need that? I can just hit this button. Here's my expensive, this is my iPhone stylus. Now my Samsung, I get the nice one, but I'm going to hit that button. And that's right, I'm pro Samsung. I got my Gear watch. It's 8:04, Tuesday, March 17th, 75 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. The stylus has popped up and it's gone around and traced the shape of the right lens before moving over and tracing the shape of the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you will receive free, clear, single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number and you will be reimbursed from your purchase, even if these are non-prescription. So let's see, your pupillary distance is 65 in both eyes. My computer already starts at 32.5, so I don't need to do anything else. How's this look for your lenses? Let's see. You didn't know there was so much math involved, did you? Yeah, see? Let's go ahead and take your lenses out of the sleeves that they sent them to me. I had these custom ground. You have to do so with a Crizal Sapphire. Let's go back down here and get your lenses prepped. I'm going to take these out of the bags. Nice of them to label that an L for left. And let me guess, there's an R on here for right. They have saved me the time that I would have to do that myself. So I'm going to go down. Your right eye reads minus 575, minus 50 at 176. Spin the axis wheel to, where's 176? There it is, between 175 and 180. I've got it on 176. I'm going to put the power drum. Let me just zero that out and make sure that is dead on, and it is. Let's go ahead and put that on one. Let's see, what are we at? Minus 575. Turn the power drum to 575. Take your right lens, put it in, rotate it until the sphere power comes in clearly. Check your astigmatism correction. That looks good. And let's go ahead and put 3 dots on your lenses. Of course, can you see that blue? That is the Crizal Sapphire. Only the Sapphire gets that blue. Only that Sapphire. So let's go ahead and do your left lens. Minus 167. Somewhere on here is a 167. There we go. And minus 450, minus 175 at 167. So I'm going to put the power drum on minus 450. Double check we're on 167. Put the left lens in, rotate until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center, check your astigmatism correction. All that looks good. And then put 3 dots on these lenses. Of course, that third one is always so hard to see, so I'm going to darken that. We're going to label that one L. Did we darken the right one? Let's do that. And that is R. So, I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to take your right lens and put it on top of the platform. Now, the lens has to go in there a certain way. That's why I put the 3 dots. It cannot rotate or you're just not going to see as clear. So, this is a block. I need to attach it. This is what's going to attach to your lens while it is cutting. So I need to put a double-sided adhesive sticker on here. That little silver button is a magnet. That's what's going to hold it in place 2 times. Once in the blocker and then once again in the edger. So I've already got the double-sided adhesive sticker from 3M on there. I'm going to pull the paper away to make this side sticky. I'm going to put the magnets, what's going to hold it into that block. I'm going to put your lens in there, rotate it until, now this blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. Your pupillary distance is just inset from there, and that center dot is your optical center, and those other two dots gives me that 180 meridian, so I know that the lens is not askew. Hit that button and the block's going to come down and be applied to your right lens. And let's do the same thing now for your left lens. Take that out, peel away the sticker, put the block in there. Let's get your left lens. Now it automatically mirrors the right and puts 32.5 in there because your total power is, your total PD is 65. Put that in there, get everything lined up, hit that button, and the block's going to come down and place the block onto your left lens. Come here left lens, don't be running away. So the actual cutting wheel is inside the machine. Now this is my edger, costs $40,000, weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy one, put it on your kitchen counter. But the cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your high index lens material. This wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the bevel on the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that sticker on there really well because your Crizal Sapphire anti-glare coating is a very slick hydrophobic surface. In fact, let me go ahead and program everything. This is not a polycarbonate lens. This is a high index lens, so I will do MHI, which stands for mid to high index. I do not want to polish the lens. I do not want to put a bevel on the front surface of the lens, only one on the rear. So I'm going to go ahead and push to make sure that is stuck on there very well. Put that into the chuck and hit start. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then your lens is just about to get traced by two white styluses. It's going to trace the shape of the right side of the frame first, making sure the lens is large enough to fit. And of course, as it goes around, it's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel so it will fit best inside the frame. Now this is a special treat, and here's something you don't normally see. Let's see who's paying attention. Water has begun spraying from the very beginning. Rarely do you see that. I usually cut a lot of polycarbonate lenses, and polycarb cuts dry where plastic and high index cut wet. And oh, if you could only smell what I'm smelling now. Your lens actually has some sulfur in it, so it actually smells like rotten eggs while it is cutting. Who doesn't like that rotten egg smell? Now your lenses are made out of high index, and you also have the Crizal Sapphire. Hopefully you can see that blue, which only the Crizal Sapphire has. Most of the Crizal has a greenish hue. Yours is blue. Now the lens is going to get traced one more time just to make sure that, if you notice, your lens is completely flat all the way around. It's just about to get the bevel in there so it will stay inside the bevel of the frame. It is being traced one last time to know exactly where to precisely place the bevel, so for the best fit and cosmetic fit of the lens inside the frame. So it is going around. This is the last 20 seconds of the cycle as it's getting the bevel placed on there. In just a moment, an arm will come out and it will place a safety bevel on the rear surface of the frame. You know, this is the first of two pairs that I'm cutting for you. I'm almost tempted to send you some of the Schwarf, which you will see. I actually have to empty the trap. High index is very gummy and will clog my filter, so I have to empty it in between each lens so it doesn't overflow. So it's getting a safety bevel applied to the concave rear surface of the lens. Although if I do send you some of this Schwarf, don't open it in the Atlanta cafe. This stuff stinks. You're going to chase everyone out of the restaurant. By the way, some really good positive reviews on Google and Yelp about your restaurant. Everyone down there is raving about the food. I got to come down there one day and try it out. You're only about 5.5, 6 hours away from me. That's with no traffic. So your lens is going to come out. When I hit that button, it's going to open up the chuck. I'm going to take it out, dry your lens off so it is not slippery. Make sure there is no schwarf, and there is not. I'm going to pick your frame up. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, push down at the nose. It does not want to go in yet, so I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it back into the chuck, and I'm actually going to take it down about 2/10 of a millimeter and hit the retouch button. Now, 2/10 of a millimeter, to all my American friends who have no clue, a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/5 of that off, going around the circumference of the lens until it fits in there easily. I don't want to force it in the frame and stretch it. The golden rule to cutting lenses or anything else, you can always cut more off. You can never add it back on. So I start a little bit large and then work my way down. I am a perfectionist, and I cut every pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide, and you want a perfectionist like me cutting your lenses. If I was to force it in there, a lot of people use heat, which is this bead pan here. I only use that to adjust the temples behind the ears. I do not use it on the front of the frame, as a lot of people do. If you heat the frame up, it becomes more pliable and you can force the lens in there, but over time it will cause your frame to stretch or to roll. If you think of your frame as a gutter with that little bevel, your frame will roll outwards at the bottom, and it will shorten the life of the frame as well as giving it ugly cosmetic value, and you ain't gonna get that from me. So let me take the lens out, dry it off again, and let's see if it fits into the frame this time. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, then using my thumbs, press down. It still doesn't want to go, so I'm going to take it, not quite as much this time. Let's do about another 10%, hit retouch. I apologize, this takes a minute or two longer, but I am just a perfectionist. And again, you want someone as anal as me cutting your lenses. These are very expensive high-index 167 lenses with Crizal Sapphire. And I'm not going to put some junk your frame up by forcing that in there. I'm going to take my time and do the job well, even if it means you're going to be bored watching these videos. Now, the right lens always takes a little bit longer. Once we get the size just right, I'm going to flip it over and cut the left with no problem. So again, the lever is going to pull out a little spinning cutting wheel on there. It's going to put the safety bevel on the back surface, the concave surface of the lens, just to smooth out any rough edges that may be left over from the cutting cycle. Let all the water drain out because we're going to need to empty that trap before I cut the left lens. Hit the button, open that up, dry your lens off so it's not slippery. Let's tuck it in at the outside corner. Using my thumbs, I push down at the nose. Now it snaps in easily. Now, very rarely do you get to see the magician stuff the rabbit in the hat. This is the trap that catches. Let me empty that water. This is your optical sawdust. That is very gummy. So I need to empty that out before I can cut your left lens. Put that back into the trap. That is optical sawdust. So let's go ahead and put your left lens in. Make sure that is pushed on there tightly. Crizal Sapphire is no joke. Put that in there. Let's see, what's the combined power? 5, 7, 5, 1/4. Yeah. Alright, let's just go ahead and hit start. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp will shut, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, measuring the lens to make sure it is large enough to fit into the frame as it goes around. And again, as always, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel for the best cosmetic fit. And of course, that is what you're getting here. You have no edge thickness whatsoever in a frame this size. This is a larger eye size, the 52 eye size. but that is what a 167 lens will do for you. You decided not to go with the 174. What's my sister want now? And dry everything off. Careful not to remove that red dot, of which I did, so I'm gonna take my pen and put the dark in that red dot. And whew, man, that stinks. God, if we had smell-o-vision, if you could smell that sulfur, that rotten egg smell. So I'm gonna go back down, turn the axis wheel to 176, put the lens in just above that red dot into my Marco 101 lensometer, grab my flashlight, and we're going to read the power off your right lens, and I'm getting -575, 1 tick mark away from 6. Check your astigmatism correction, of which you have 2 steps, and we're at 6 1/4. The way we got there was, Reed, man, you're killing me, Reed. I know we're supposed to meet tomorrow, but still. All right, so you have, hang on, let me do some math. 5 times 4, 20. You have 23 steps of far-sighted correction without your glasses on. If you can get your hands on it, actually about right here is going to be clear to you. You need 23 steps of far-sighted correction to make everything the correct size. With your glasses off, everything is way too large. So this number gets everything the correct size. You only need 2 steps of astigmatism correction. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. You only have 2 steps of it in your right eye. You have 7 steps of it in your left. But remember high school algebra, you add 2 like signs together. We have 2 minuses, and that's why yours is a minus. It will minify everything down to the correct size. So that's how we end up with 6 1/4 here. -50 added to -575 is 6 1/4, so you need 17 total steps. 16, let's see, 6 times 4 is 24, no, 25 steps of correction for your farsightedness. Now, astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, the letters P and F. You're okay in your right eye, only 2 steps. Now you need 7 steps of correction in your left eye. So this number tells us where to turn that fine knob to. We're going to turn that knob, a straight line is 0 to 180, 90 being in the center. We're going to turn that knob to 176 for your right eye. Now you only need 18 steps of correction for your left eye, but you need an additional 7 steps, giving us a combined total of 25 steps of correction, and we're going to turn that to 167. We're going to go past 90 and go to about 167. Now let me take your left lens out, dry everything off, and let's find your frame. Here it is. Let's see if it fits first time around. Just because it is a different prescription, there's a chance I may have to take it down more, but I tuck it in at the outside corner, then press down with my thumbs at the nose. No, it pops in there easily. Left lens always goes faster. Dry everything off. Well, try not to remove that red dot. Let's come back down here. By the way, this is your Crizal cleaning cloth. I will provide instructions on not only how to care for your eyeglasses, but for your cleaning cloth in case, so it will last you for years. I also include a photo request to have your picture on the website. And Lee, I want you standing outside in front of the restaurant so you can advertise for me and your restaurant at the same time. I'm going to turn the astigmatic correction to 167. Check your power, and we're coming up with -450, which is exactly halfway between 4 and 5. Check the other next 7 steps, and we're at 6 1/4. So again, 25 steps of correction. Your pupillary distance is 65. Hang on for a second, I just want to show you the thickness of the left lens. Nothing is protruding from the frame. Good call on upgrading to high index from the poly. I think it was a good call not going for the 174. No sense spending any extra money when your lenses do not protrude outside of the frame anyway. So again, your pupillary distance is 65. I'm going to turn the card over with your prescription written on the back, and I'm going to put it the thumb on the right lens. When we hold it up to the left, we're getting 65 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. I'm going to set it on the counter and press down. Well, get these now. Let me clean everything off. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, Lee, when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the U.S., and Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia is just outside Atlanta, is still in the United States, but There's a small chance when you get these that these could be too small or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. So that's why mine wobble on the counter. But if these are uneven, just stop by any local optical shop, and 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to flip them over, press down. There is no wobble. Make sure each temple overlaps perfectly, and they do. And the temples are not askew in any way. So that's that. If anyone has any questions, email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Lee at the Atlanta Cafe just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Hope you enjoyed watching as I cut high index lenses with Crizal Sapphire for your RayBan 5184 color 5405, which is the matte black with the texture. Of course, it's got the crystal front there with the textured camouflage on the inside and the 52 eye size. And as soon as your other frame, the RayBan 5114 and the color you ordered comes in from back order, I will get those lenses cut and shipped to you. So thanks again, and hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.